I don't disagree with you in terms of the things that you have set forth here and that we should be striving to do, all of them. There isn't anything that I disagree with. On the other hand, the amounts of money that it would take to do those things across New York State are a lot more than increasing taxes by 1% on the rich. It would be humongous amounts of money. So all I guess I'm saying is I understand what you're saying, so this is kind of a statement to at least say to you, I hear what you're saying. I think it's very important that we get into these issues and that they're talked about. But at the same time, I've got to deal with a budget for this year for New York State, for the cities across New York State, and how do I deal with that? So I'm going to ask you, just for Syracuse now, the same questions that I've asked basically every other mayor that's come up here. Is AIM enough? And how do the other programs that the governor has put in place, how do they work? And with Syracuse, because of the report that came out also, some of the things that he has been, the consensus report I'm alluding to, some of the things that the governor's programs put in place would help that. So with that in mind, I know this is kind of a rambling question, but I hope I'm getting my point across.
You are.
What do you think?
AIM is not enough, as you've heard each of the mayors say, the mayor of New York City. AIM is not enough. It's been flat, and we have seen our pension costs, some go up. They're starting to ratchet down for us here in Syracuse, but as we see the market underperform, we worry that in December, you know, the pension costs are going to go up again. Healthcare goes up. Binding interest arbitration awards come down for police and fire, and they really hamstring us. So we are dealing with a situation where our revenues are flat, and yet our expenses continue to grow in large leaps and bounds. I would tell you that in terms, every budget having to do Syracuse's budget as mayor during very challenging times for the last 7 years, I understand it's about setting priorities. And there are lots of needs and not enough resources. But I would share with you that the more we ignore infrastructure, the more we ignore the kind of pernicious effects that poverty is having on the people of this state, we will no longer be seen as a place of opportunity. 1 out of every 2 children born in the city of Syracuse, the city of Rochester, the city of Buffalo is born into poverty. And because of the programs that have been systematically and quietly eliminated by the federal government and some by the state, those children and those families will not have an opportunity to escape poverty. And they will become burdens for our criminal justice system, for our social services system, but most importantly, all of us, I think, who are in public service, we believe that those children and families can be an asset to our economy. And until we start looking at economic development in a way that includes everyone and doesn't just depend on giving tax breaks, we're going to continue to see the futures of those families and children across our state, and obviously I'm very concerned about Syracuse in particular, continue to grow. When you look at what the governor admirably did in his State of the State and budget proposal talking about the poverty initiatives, but you look at that map of where those numbers are, that I think is a telling sign that we need to approach economic development differently. That we have that many children, that many people in our state living in those kind of circumstances.
Well, I'm going to just make one more statement to you, okay? As a friend, which we have been for many, many years, we disagree on some things, and my concerns are that we create jobs. So we'll continue to do that, but I definitely want to thank you for your comments and your thoughtfulness in terms of putting these in the forefront of this committee and what we should be looking at when we're looking at a budget. Thank you very much for being here.
And Assemblyman Magnarelli, I appreciate your comments, and I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for the support and the resources that you have given the city of Syracuse, so we have been able to put them towards our planning for infrastructure. Okay. Thank you.